Hi, and welcome to System.debug. We are live, and I am your host, Megan Broadkey, and we also have...
I'm your co-host, Nate Pepper.
And today we have a very special guest, developer extraordinaire, user group leader, founder of her own company, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Goldie in the house. That's right. Miranda Ragland. Miranda now keeps coming up on my Twitter.
Wait, don't use her hacker name. Don't use her hacker name. Right, Miranda Ragland.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, thanks for having me.
Sorry. Hey, Miranda, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. We are so excited to have you here today. So to get us started, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about who you are. What do you do, Miranda? I know we said you're a developer, but tell us more. What is this company?
I am.
How'd you start?
My company.
Let me give you a million questions at once.
Let me answer one before you throw some more at me, okay? Sorry, Megan and I are longtime friends. My company is M7 Unlimited. I have been in the Salesforce ecosystem for like 14 years, going on 15 at this point. And at one point, I decided I was tired of working for someone else. So I started my own company, and it's been going pretty well. We do Salesforce development and mostly consulting. So it's a good time.
So you started Salesforce work in high school?
No. No, but you're very, very kind.
I'm wondering if maybe we can jump back in time first.
That's what I was going to ask.
How did you get into Salesforce? Very first day, right? Very first job position, Salesforce was a thing.
So I was hired as a enterprise Java developer, brought on to support an existing team. And Salesforce was this system that I had to log into in order to log my time. And it had like the world's longest click path because I had to go from an account to an opportunity to a project to that particular week, and then to that particular day, and and then like it was this huge object model. It took 50,000 clicks just to log a single time entry, and it was just like, can't I just give you a spreadsheet? So I found out that you can write this thing called an S control, and it made my life a little bit easier. Didn't tell my boss.
What? Life goal that Becca Dent never realized. What?
Then it got even cooler a few months later, because within like a year later, they released Apex and Visual Force. So I've kind of I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem since right before. So I got to see it change, which is really, really cool.
Wow, you were in it before me, girl. You're in it before me. I was there when Apex and Visual Force came out, but not the S controls.
Well, I wasn't there when S controls came out, but I did. Yeah.
You were there when you could actually create a new one.
Huh?
And edit an existing one.
Oh,
wow.
And I created many. So yeah, and then years and years of building on Apex knowledge, and I completely left the enterprise Java world behind, and just dove in headfirst, Salesforce everything, and I haven't regretted it a day since. So.
Wow. Do you find yourself still missing custom class builders or custom class factories? Enterprise sort of, when people like Megan and I, that I'm guessing got most of our development experience in Salesforce coming up, we see code and we go, oh, that was written from a Java enterprise that
Yeah, no, I miss having all of the tools do all of the work for you, but hey, guess what? We got a really awesome tool that does a lot of the work for you these days. So, I don't even really miss that anymore. Yeah.
Sorry, I just finally read your shirt.
Yes. For those of the, do you have those that play the audio game only anymore? Because my podcast feed hasn't updated in a long time. But yeah, if anyone does audio only, it's my password is the last digits of pi. And for anyone, everyone else is probably like, yeah, we can see. It's a terrible password though. Like, it's a really clever shirt and I love it. I get a lot of attention for it. Like a lot more pre-COVID-19 because at home.
Right.
But not too many people see it unless I wear it on one of these meetings. But yeah, it's a really clever shirt. It's a lot of fun. It's a good conversation starter. But one day I thought about it. That's a really terrible password. It's so easy to brute force.
Whoa, I just got that. Yes, it would be.
It's only 8 characters long and your alphabet is 10 characters. So like, 0 through 9 is all that you're working with. And there's only a limited number of combinations. It would like be brute forced in under a second. It's a terrible password.
Wow. The things you think of.
Look at both of you. I should have gotten. I'm like wearing all of my nerdy shirts on the weekend because there's no point in wearing them during the week to go out and have people at Starbucks see them.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm stuck on.
I've been wearing all my cool shirts. I got my log. I am your father on today, man. I'm rocking it. Yeah. Living the dream.
I have a small problem with that. Because it's an allusion to Luke, I am your father, but that's not the actual line. The actual line's, no, I am your father.
Tommy Boy misquoted. Yeah, that's where we all got messed up.
Nice.
So Miranda, after like, okay, I'm not hired for Salesforce purposes, what was your path of, okay, I'm like, what made you make the switch of I want to become a Salesforce developer? And then I guess what was your path after that, right? Working at customers where you're doing internal dev or consultancies, etc. What was your roadmap there?
No, actually, the company that I got my first Salesforce job with, I stayed with for 11 years in one form or another, and ultimately ended up being a co-founder of the final form of the company, at least the final form during my tenure. And so it's just something that kind of grew, we started out with doing enterprise Java, but Salesforce consulting, it just became a product area that I got added to because I could do S controls, and I did a lot of early integrations, logging in, pushing data into Salesforce, manual integrations, the days before MuleSoft and Jitterbit and all of these wonderful tools that we have today.
So you were there for Jigsaw, right? Did you ever upload any contracts into Jigsaw?
I totally used Jigsaw.
See, I didn't actually really use it personally. I remember seeing it in the object model and everything, but didn't actually end up doing that. Just never won any of those contracts. But yeah, after that, it was just the enterprise Java projects just went away, and it was all Salesforce consulting. It literally kind of just happened. You hear about accidental admins. I'm kind of an accidental dev.
So back where I was, we used Jigsaw. I did a few of those Jigsaw implementations. Then it became data.com, and it's changed so much. So much. You never used it, Nate? You never had to implement it, or you, Miranda?
No, I remember
still haven't had to implement it.
The very first company I ever worked with, I think I just uploaded the contact info for our two founders to Jigsaw, which was a startup tutoring company that didn't make it 2-3 years, in order to get credits to, I don't know, look up like Benioff's email ID or something. I totally forget, but it's like the F-serve of contact info. I just wanted to get some credits, and that was all I remember about Jigsaw and data.com. But now it's totally not crowdsourced, you know. I mean, oh my gosh, the old days.
I remember it was years since I last implemented something like Jigsaw or data.com or Hoover's or Zoom Info. I haven't done any of those in like forever. Yeah. Whoa, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Do people still use those?
I know people who have like done those integrations. Like I've worked with them. I've just like never actually been directly involved. You know, the kind of stuff I do is it's push Salesforce as hard and far as you can out of the, you know, using the out of the box and process automation, everything that you've got available. And when you want to push it a little bit further, give me a call.
So some things have become just so easy to turn on, you know, and require so much less effort over the past years. You know, for example, I mean, Jigsaw used to be a full implementation. You know, data.com you can turn on in minutes. So perhaps that's why you're not seeing it.
Oh my God, in the last release or two, custom Apex types for process builder call out response mapping.
So what other types of things, Miranda?
So many things that you don't need code for anymore.
Yeah. What other types of things have you seen change over your tenure with Salesforce that have really like blown you away and have changed your dev career?
Probably the biggest would be Flow and Process Builder. I remember when those were first being announced, and I was scared. I thought my job was over, because like I looked at it like every single thing that you had to go to Apex for, you know, and I absolutely love working in code. And it's so strange to me that I have made a career in a low code environment and still found a way to do as much code as I do. But I would look at things and just like I saw Flow and Process Builder when they're, you know, like each first being announced. I would think about, okay, there's this use case, there's that use case. Like, oh God, there goes that part of my job. There goes that part of my job. There goes that part of my job. And it's like, you know, and come Dreamforce 2014 or 2015, I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm going to be obsolete in 2 years. If they keep this up, like they keep maturing and doing all of this, like at the pace that they're going, like who's gonna come to me? Well, you know, what's left? Do I need to look at another platform? Because, you know, again, I've just had a lifelong fascination with code, and if they keep making you know, lowering the barrier to entry so much so that you could just focus on the pure logic, like, do I need to look at another platform? What's going on here? Yeah, definitely Flow and Process Builder. They're so powerful.
But then you open up a Flow definition XML and you realize, oh, honey, this is why I stopped making my website in Dreamweaver. Actual code that, you know, the maintainability part of that.
Now, at the same time, though, I mean, Miranda, you've done some pretty cool work with Flow yourself. I mean, you've dabbled in it yourself as a developer. It's not like you've avoided it.
No, not at all. I couldn't be a good consultant to, my customers if I wasn't doing, clicks first, and then, it. I have a very different relationship with Salesforce development these days. It used to be 100% code. It's not anymore. And yeah, I love code, but use it appropriately. You again, you push things as far as you can go. On the admin and the declarative development side, but there are still a lot of use cases where you do end up requiring code, and simple augmentation here or there with an invocable process or something to that measure, and you can take these tools even further. So it's it had to mature the way that I look at it, but it wasn't taking anything away from my career. It was actually making it faster for me to deliver solutions.
So one thing that I'm just gonna call this out really quick, and then I have another question for you. Is personally, the fact that you can have like a no code solution and have these little itty bitty pieces of code that you put into it, like flow components, flow actions. Dude, like rocks my world. I find them so awesome. It's just so one of the guys today at work. About the navigate everywhere flow action, and just how you can redirect to a record afterwards, so you don't go back to the beginning of a flow, or you can go to a thank you page. And then I showed him a demonstration of how we had that in the org, and he was just like, whoa. And I was like, I know. And we just, so really quick to give you a recap, wonderful weekend. For those of you who did not attend virtual Dreaming, you all really missed out. Had a lot of fun. Everybody that's been hearing me all day has just heard the excitement. So yeah, and then a lot of upcoming user group presentations just coming out of this weekend. So very excited. My question for you though, my dear, speaking of presentations, you are a Dreamforce presenter, multiple time Dreamforce presenter, correct?
Multiple times in doing multiple sessions at Dreamforce 2019, yes. But overall, no, that was my first time. Honestly, right now it's a blur. It's still a blur because of the golden hoodie moment. That it completely stopped me from forming any new memories at Dreamforce.
Oh, that's
so amazing.
Tell us about getting that golden hoodie too. What was that like?
It was just an amazing experience, and everyone that was involved in helping me get there, I appreciate that so much. I was only out there for like 2 minutes, but it felt like a lifetime, and they gave me a platform to say my piece, and I felt like I had a tremendous opportunity, and I'm just so grateful for that. And having the golden hoodie, again, it's really interesting in COVID-19 times. When I do make an appearance, when it's not the weather's crazy today. It was warm, then it was raining, and now it's windy, and Southern California just isn't like this. It's usually like, just pick one. It's either going to be nice or kind of not nice.
Oh, I love the rain. It was great. I'm gonna garden tomorrow. It'll moisten the ground from a week of drought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nate, you and I are only like, 50 miles apart,
I mean, now it'd take a half an hour, right? In the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're right next door. You're the dev group leader? No,
I was Irvine Lit for quite a bit, but I actually recently stepped down so that Scott Louiscart and I could start the LGBTQIA+ user group. And so we are meeting every 2 weeks, and we cover a variety of topics concerning the LGBTQIA+ community.
Nice. Is that a Salesforce specific group?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Yeah,
yep.
I was
not regional. It's virtual, actually.
Oh, wow.
Even before COVID-19, we were, 100% virtual because we didn't want to leave anyone out. And we couldn't do it regionally anyway because Scott and I live in completely different states.
Yeah. I was in the process pre-COVID-19 of A, moving to San Jose in the summer, and then B, stepping down from the LA Dev Group leader position to transition in Nip into that role. And now I don't know. Right now I'm doing more virtual stuff, and yeah, it's a constant transition. So I had three quick ones from earlier when you So I'm gonna fire three quick ones at you on the clicks versus code, because I know you'd mentioned like clicks versus code. Have you ever, as now a manager, lead, boss person, requested that somebody do something in code versus clicks for any reason? Number two, what's your stance on, Megan, you mentioned them, like plugin, right? Process plugins, etc. Things that can be used from declarative tools.
Components and actions.
Like Flow and that. And then also just a general one, out of any of the release notes stuff, what has been one or two of your favorite, like, oh my God, they finally came out with this, or they finally, already. One thing, boilerplate that, because it's going to be, hey devs, do code, do code versus clicks. I know it's faster, but blah, blah, blah. And
so, yes. Yes, I have said to do things in code first, and usually because I know that I have knowledge of where we're ultimately going to mature it into, or I know that there is going to be a potential gotcha, and at the end of the day, it's going to end up being the better solution for my client.
Have you ever written a unit test or told someone to or wanted to that didn't do code coverage, but it was testing declarative functionality that should work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Good.
It does slow down your process a bit, but
I will link to this
absolutely
in this video. Yes, exactly.
No, the unit tests are a godsend when it comes to debugging tools, because you can just so rapidly change your your inputs and have it recycle through everything, and if you prove that something works and you can run your tests through it, you can then build up, I like to do assumption tests, so like, validate that these assumptions are working, so that I know that these aren't, that it's not going to be a factor in the piece of code that I'm actually trying to test. So I actually highly recommend it for that.
And do you cover every scenario? Because writing a good test may show you that you need to change your code and fix what you wrote in your process or your flow.
And when you get to the point where you have the bandwidth and talent capital and time to do CI/CD, I remember back in the day when I was talking with like Daniel Hocht, Alex Sutherland, Kevin Foreman about CI/CD, like way before Salesforce DX. The consensus was your CI/CD is only as good as your tests. And so if you have cruddy tests, it's like Tommy Boy when you've got a guarantee, but there's a little pile of something in the guarantee and it was worthless, right? So yeah, I'd say if something's important enough that you need to make intensive declarative solutions around it, don't feel scared to make a unit test around something.
Yeah, no, it's such an excellent debugging tool. And then like you get peace of mind knowing that it's going to work. And I do like to get admins in the habit of actually running unit tests before they push their changes to production, because you don't have to. But
compile all classes might be nice.
You tell them you need to. You tell them you need to.
Just click that.
You always
only
need to run your tests.
So Megan, it's only
You don't
been
know if your
recently that I have
validation
had
rules
the
gonna
true
break the
power.
world. Validation rules break everything. You always need to run your tests. Run them.
I 100% agree, but as a consultant, my job is to provide solutions for my clients and to advise them. They are under no obligation to actually take my advice.
There's also lack of validation rules that break everything when you're loading an aura.
Required fields, deleting fields.
Yeah. Okay, and then
hard referencing fields
gracious.
and code. That's one of my rules. If you're gonna do dynamic Apex and you're gonna put a field label in code somewhere, for God's sake, put a hard reference somewhere. Please, you will save me years of heartache.
Interesting, even if it's like an unused set.
No, anything, like I've seen code that will have API names in strings that are hard coded into it, but then someone goes and changes the field or deletes the field or does something.
Yeah.
And if there was just a hard reference, like if you're gonna do that, put a hard reference in a unit test.
As little as I used it, that was one of the reasons I liked the idea of Sockle Factory or Financial Forces, like Sockle Query Factory. Like, yes, make a set of S field tokens that you turn into labels, because that's
I just taught someone how to do that last week.
and don't have people enter a string of API names as a solution. Have them use like a field set.
But you glazed over Apex mock. You said like, oh no, just ignore that for now.
So I was trying to say this before you guys said your stuff, so I just wanted to say it before I forgot, because we're also down to 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Ready, go. Megs, take the floor.
So I just wanted actually for you to really quick go back and please, for the people who don't know, what is a golden hoodie and what does it stand for, and who are goldies?
A golden hoodie is a special trailblazer jacket. It is the blingiest bling that you will ever see on a Salesforce hoodie, at least to my knowledge. It is given to people as a sort of award and thank you for their work in the community, the Salesforce Trailblazer community. And I personally like to think of it as kind of a brand ambassadorship. Salesforce has given me this honor, and it's certainly eye-catching, and it's a great conversation starter. And so I try to share the love. It gives me an opportunity to talk about me and what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be doing a lot of that without building on this wonderful platform. So, like I said, I always try and share the love.
All right, you're doing so much. It is so amazing. I just got to say, you're just absolutely fantastic. Now, there's some other pretty awesome things that you have done over the past years, and I know we're just at 5, but if you could give us like your top favorite things that you have done, your top 5 experiences.
3.
And then we can then we'll wrap things up. I just want to give you your opportunity to shine.
Like I said, the golden hoodie is definitely right there at the top. Along with speaking at Dreamforce and Trailhead DX, running certain user group meetings, specifically the ones where I had been the primary on. It was a lot of fun seeing those ideas come to life, and to see people show up and actually have a good time. Like that was a lot of fun. I've done some volunteer events, some community volunteer events, that ranks pretty high. one in particular really stands out. It was a local Southern California like multi-user group. We worked with Laura Derby and
Earth Day.
Tree People. Yes, for Earth Day. Wasn't that an awesome event? Like, dude,
my kids still remember that.
Oh my God, I had so much fun that day.
What happened for Earth Day?
Yeah, how many am I up to? Oh, we just all of the Southern California and Orange County user groups. We all banded together and did like a mega event, and we went to a park in Los Angeles. Very, very famous park. It's Griffith Park, right?
It was the something grounds. It's right by it's by the 5 and the 144. It's right there by the 5 and 134 intersection. Yeah, it's the Griffith part of Griffith Park.
But we volunteered with this organization called Tree People, and we were going in caring for the trees and the freshly planted trees in this park. We were renewing the mulch, making sure that they had the right amount of water, keeping an eye out for like unhealthy conditions around them, just doing basic maintenance.
It wasn't tree planting, but it's like, okay, you plant trees, then you gotta maintain them, just like code.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And we had so many like attendees from all of our different user groups there, like interacting and like it was just such a good, fun day. It wasn't too hot. It was kind of hot, but and then we all shared a meal and went about our business. It was just a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you for the food, Miranda. I had sandwiches for days.
Yeah, that was my responsibility. I handled the food that day. But it was good times. All right, other experiences. Golden Hoodie speaking. User group events. Oh gosh. Honestly, just the fun of starting M7 Unlimited and IT Equality. Like we kind of started them at the same time. Ashley and I agreed to work with each other, and then we realized we were building two companies, and so we separated. But that period of actually building things and getting through all of the early challenges and figuring out like just actually building the company and learning how to go from go from being the developer who was perfectly content to be hidden away, not talking with anyone, and just doing the mysterious developer things and getting all the accolades and ego hit from it. I was perfectly content with all of that. But actually now transitioning over to figuring out like, okay, no, now literally everything rests on my shoulders because I have to be the decision maker, not just implementing other people's, like being told what to do, but like actually deciding, whether or not to take, a contract and going through all of that negotiation and just learning. The learning how to be an executive has been a true highlight. It wasn't something I had planned on doing, to be honest. And then my other highlight was actually going from that developer who was perfectly content to just be shy. I'm naturally shy and introverted person. And I used Trailblaze, the local women in tech group, when Melinda first started it out here. I decided I didn't want to be that shut-in, super introverted person anymore, and so I started attending the group, and that ultimately led to me doing more public speaking. It's how I broke my silence, and I couldn't have done it without our community.
So I I remember when I first met you, Miranda, speaking of you and being an introvert versus being an extrovert. It was at the Chieftain at Trailhead DX.
Yep.
And
Chieftain.
you and Ashley had just like come on over and just like randomly said hi to me. Or was it that I said hi to you?
No, so we kept noticing you all throughout Trailhead DX. Like you were everywhere that we were, and we're like, we keep seeing this woman. Like, what? Like, do you know her? No. Do you know? And like, all right, who is she? She seems to know everybody that we know.
Was that the Trailhead?
Why don't we know
Megan,
her?
or was that the year before?
But yeah, we kept seeing you all over the place, and Ashley finally decided, like, no, I'm gonna go say hi. Like, we're gonna be friends. And so yeah, Ashley went over to you, and I was just sitting there like, please don't. I just want to enjoy my beer. I want to go back to the room.
I don't want to talk Salesforce anymore, man. I need a break.
I'm not like, hi, how's it going?
I'm here because my friends are here, but secretly I really just want to go back to the room and watch Netflix. But yeah, Ashley called you over, and we had a good old time, and I don't regret it one. You know, like, I'm really glad we didn't go to the room and watch Netflix.
Right?
Yeah.
So much more fun hanging out with me. Friends for years now, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
the
totally
right choice was made.
Yeah. I mean, moved from being an introvert to an extrovert. Right there. Great step forward.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far yet, but there are people I'm very comfortable around. So.
Baby steps. Yeah. Baby steps.
Baby steps, get on the bus.
There we go. But I know we're going over, and I don't want to cut too much into your personal time, but Randy, you are absolutely awesome. You've done so much cool stuff.
I would ask
above and beyond.
to sign us out. Do you want to give us like give our viewers a call to action or like a message like, hey, do this or take this advice or go get during these times, go get involved in this or go check out these people.
Well, yeah, definitely, join your local user groups are probably doing virtual meetings, so make sure that you keep in touch with your community, and honestly, just be kind to yourself. At the end of the day, we're in unprecedented times, and I've been seeing a lot of people who, and I'm guilty of it myself. I'm trying to be everything to everyone. But at the end of the day, you can't help anyone if you're not helping yourself. So just be kind to yourself and be kind to others.
It's great advice, Miranda.
Beautiful.
So.
All right, Meg, sign us out.
Awesome. So thank you everybody for being here today. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm Megan SF. That's MEIGHAN. We also have Nate.
S-Force be with you. Everything's spelled out except S, except it is. But yes, S-Force be with you. And Miranda.
Miranda Janelle on Twitter. That's JANELL because, gotta be different. And my company's M7 Unlimited. So the letter M, 7 Unlimited. On Twitter, on the web, everywhere.
Nice.
Awesome. And don't forget to subscribe and follow and like.
Click that subscribe link. Check out the links below. We've got a post-production team. Megan.
Hey.
Megan.
Peace out, everybody. We'll see you around.
Cheers. Peace, Ohana.